Hello, everybody. So it's a bit of a follow-up from some talk I did on Olympic stamps a few weeks ago. And so I think I mentioned at the time that, I'm not really a big collector of Olympic stamps because when everybody got into it, all the countries, there's so many stamps to collect for any individual country, any individual event rather. But I did go back to the early ones. And I also mentioned at the time, I think the original 1896 Greek stamps commemorating the first modern Olympics are way outside of my price range. So I moved on and I had a look at the 1920 the games of the VII Olympiad in Antwerp in Belgium. And what you're seeing on the screen here are some of the actual posters that were used to commemorate the event or to celebrate the event, obviously both in French and Flemish, being Belgium, a bilingual country. So I started having a look around. Can you actually get the stamps? Are they available? And here they are. And these are beautiful stamps. So just bear in mind that these are over 100 years old, which I guess makes them bona fide antiques, right? It's actually readily available. These are mint, they've never been used. The engravings are actually beautiful. I really love engravings and stamps. So what you've got here are the three stamps that were issued by Belgium to commemorate the Olympics, a 5 cent, a 10 cent, a 15 cent. What's interesting with these is they're actually what we call semi-postals in the philately hobby, because they each have a surtax on them. And if I just zoom in on this one, you can see here, again, this beautiful engraving, bearing in mind this thing's only like an inch high. But you'll see here at the bottom, it says in French and Flemish that there is 5 cents here, surtax on top, which will go to the benefit of wounded soldiers that returned from World War I. So you'd actually pay 15 cents for the stamp, 10 cents for the postage, 5 cents for the surtax. Okay, so actually Belgium lost their shirt on these Olympics. They made a massive loss. They didn't get the people attending in Antwerp as they thought they would. And so they ended up with a lot of these stamps left over. And I found, with a little bit of research, that actually the following year they reissued these stamps. As you can see here, what they've done is to overprint them. So imagine you've got sheets of stamps, these are big sheets, you run them through the machine again, but this time with either red or black ink, crossing out the original value, the original purpose for the stamp and redoing it. So we can look in on this one, for example, here's our 10 cent with a 5 cent surcharge, and it's basically been overprinted for 20 cents. So what we have here are 3 20 Belgian cent stamps from 1921, also antiques. So that's kind of cool, right? I moved on a little bit and looked at the next ones. So I actually moved on to the 9th Olympiad, which was in Amsterdam in 1928. The 1924 Olympics were in Paris, but those sets are a little pricey. So I chose the ones for Amsterdam, which again, readily available, reasonably good priced. Now, interesting fun fact here, this was the first Olympic Games stamps, actually the Olympic Games, to actually use the Olympic rings, which had been designed and approved several years later, but nobody really was into them. So that's why they're not on the Belgian stamps, but here they are. And you can see in the background here on the flag, and this is the official poster on the right. And then they also issued these things called poster stamps. So poster stamps are not used for postage. Sometimes they're called labels or Cinderellas or whatever. And they actually have no value, but they're used for fundraising or for promotion. So you'd buy these and put them on envelopes if you wanted to make your envelopes a little bit more personal. There's a couple of different ones here, a sepia and a rose red. Then here are the actual stamps from the Netherlands from 1928 to commemorate the Olympics. Again, these are semi-postals. They have a surtax, either 1 cent, 2 cent, or 3 cent, actually 2.5 cents here. I think these are lovely. I just love the designs here. So they have a kind of almost an amateurish, look to them. But again, these are beautiful stamps. They're absolutely lovely. Again, this is a reasonable set.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Dick. Fascinating. it's actually what's fascinating is what we learned about each other's hobbies and interests during the whole last 18 months.
That's for
Right,
sure.
indeed. Yeah. So I'll probably go on and collect a few more Olympic stamps along the way, and if I collect them, I'll let you know.
Great. And if any of you have any of our associates have any interesting hobbies you'd like to share, just please shoot out a note to Jacques or I. I'm happy to showcase you. Thank you so much, Dick.